All right, now for our feature story of the day. Senator Lummis' new Bitcoin Act allows the U.S. Reserve to exceed 1 million Bitcoin. And as you know, as I covered in the past maybe 3 days of the podcast, we've been speculating on Michael Saylor's proposal urging President Trump and the United States to purchase up to 25% of the Bitcoin supply, an estimated 5.5 million Bitcoin. And you know, Cynthia Lummis' bill proposed just a 1 million bearish outlook, I would say, in comparison to Michael Saylor. But now the updated Bitcoin Act will allow the U.S. Reserve to exceed 1 million Bitcoin. So 1 million is approximately 5% of the Bitcoin supply. And I think they should go all in if they're going to do it at all. But let's dive into this a little further and shout out Cynthia Lummis. Her newly reintroduced Bitcoin Act will allow the government to potentially hold more than 1 million Bitcoin as part of its newly established reserve. The bill was first introduced back in July, and it directs the U.S. government to buy 200,000 Bitcoin a year over the course of 5 years for a total acquisition of 1 million Bitcoin, which is 5% of the circulating supply, which would be paid for by diversifying existing funds within the Federal Reserve System, as well as the Treasury Department. However, the reintroduced act, the boosting innovation, technology, and the competitiveness through optimized investment nationwide Act of 2025. Wow, what a name. And I guess the acronym for all of those words is Bitcoin. Interesting. Opens the door for the U.S. to acquire and hold in excess of 1 million BTC, as long as it is acquired through lawful means other than direct purchase, such as civil or criminal forfeitures, gifts made to the U.S., or transfers from federal agencies. I find this all kind of hilarious in a sense, because think of it this way. How does the United States get Bitcoin if they're not allowed to purchase it? Well, they confiscate it from criminals who steal it from retail. So in my mind, it makes more sense to just return the stolen fucking Bitcoin to the retail investors versus allowing the U.S. government to seize it from the criminals. But I digress. I mean, what do I know? It just seems fucked up to me, but I digress. Proud to reintroduce the Bitcoin Act. Let's secure America's financial future, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. The extra Bitcoin can also come from U.S. states that voluntarily store their Bitcoin holdings in the strategic Bitcoin reserve, though it'll be stored in a segregated account. By transforming the president's visionary executive action into enduring law, we can ensure that our nation will harness the full potential of digital innovation to address our national debt while maintaining our competitive edge in the global economy, according to Cynthia Lummis, who announced the revamped bill during a March 11th conference hosted by the Bitcoin Policy Institute. So that was yesterday. The Bitcoin Act also has a number of new co-sponsors, including Republican Senator Jim Justice, Tommy Tuberville, and Roger Marshall, as well as Marsha Blackburn and Bernie Moreno. I am proud to join Senator Lummis on the Common Sense bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve and codify President Trump's executive order. The bill represents America's continued leadership and financial innovation, bolster both our economic security, and gives us an opportunity to wrangle in our soaring national debt. Regarding other changes, the bill is now set for a formal evaluation process for Bitcoin forked assets and airdropped assets in the reserve. Interesting. Bitcoin forked assets, an example of that would be Bitcoin Cash Trash or Satoshi Vision. I don't even know why they would entertain that, but again, I digress. Initially, the bill required all forked assets to be stored in the reserve and couldn't be sold or disposed of for 5 years unless authorized by the law. The new bill now directs the secretary after the mandatory holding period to evaluate and retain most valuable asset based on the market capitalization while retaining the dominant asset. Bitcoin has hard forked a number of times in the past to create new cryptos, most notably Bitcoin Cash Trash, which forked on August 1st of 2017, and Bitcoin Gold, which forked on October 24th of 2017. Lummis's reintroduced bill comes days after U.S. President Trump signed the executive order to create the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and good thing he created a digital asset stockpile separate from the strategic solo Bitcoin reserve, which will only hold Bitcoin. The reserve in the stockpile will initially use crypto forfeited, stolen Bitcoin in the government, criminal, and civil cases, but the reserve won't sell the stashed Bitcoin and will use budget-neutral ways to increase its size, while tokens from the stockpile could be sold. So there you have it. The stockpile altcoins can all be sold. Bitcoin shall not be sold, because why would you sell the hardest asset ever created, known to mankind? You just don't do that. But with that being shared, there you have it, yo. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Dame Sailor is going to wind up with most of it. Precisely. Entertainment, my peoples, that is what we do here. Do not sell. King Kong ain't got nothing on the biddy. Exactly. King Kong ain't got shit on JV. A wise man once said.